Hi Internet, I'm John Appleseed. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we do a daily crossword puzzle. And today we've got the dreaded Saturday Stumper. This one constructed by Matthew Sewell. Stanley Newman always edits the Saturday Stumper. This is meant to be a brutally difficult crossword puzzle, more difficult than your typical Saturday or Sunday New York Times. And it has been a very consistently difficult puzzle in my experience with it. I usually need some hints to complete it. Sometimes I need quite a few hints to complete it. There's no theme, typically, just a lot of misdirection. So I've started the timer. We'll see how I do today. It has really beaten me up the last few weeks. Hopefully today will go better. But maybe a while before I get anything in the grid, so you may want to... My suggestion is that you watch this on double speed, at least until I start filling in some letters. Okay, one across is ruffle. No, one down is mobile utility. No, two down, and I'm going to be wary of putting anything in the puzzle until I'm fairly certain about it, because sometimes incorrect guesses have messed me up in the past. And with every clue, I'm going to be thinking, what else could it be? Because usually the initial reading is misleading. Two down is simple sort. No, three down. Prime Cuts Dry brand. Not familiar with that. Four down, bog-like. Swampy is my first guess. Let's get some crossing letters first. Five down, brewer's heat source. So here's an example. I'm thinking oast is a brewer's oven. That doesn't fit, but something like oast. Or it could be a pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers who has a good fastball, a source of high heat. So that's the sort of misdirection we see in this puzzle. 13 across, blank al ajillo, garlicky entree. Ajillo means garlic, if I remember, or ajo means garlic. Ajillo is a diminutive suffix, so anything al ajillo would be a garlicky. So it could be pollo, chicken. But again, let's get some crossing letters. 16 across, screens, space savers. I'm not sure about that. Okay, 6 across, sneak or creep. Nope, 14 across, what's redundant to follow with desert? My first thought is Sahara Desert is redundant because Sahara means desert. But that doesn't fit, or unless, is Gobi, does Gobi mean desert perhaps? I'm not sure about that. 14 down is 2020's youthful zero reaction. Not familiar with that. 6 down, make a mark of. A mark is the object of a con. We're looking for a 3-letter word. I'm going to try con there. 7 down, be by. I'll be by, I'll call on you maybe. 8 down, cut off. Not sure. Sneak or creep for 6 across, beginning with C, maybe. Sneak or creep. I'm going to try Gobi, desert. My guess here, and it is a guess, is that Gobi means desert. So the Gobi Desert is a well-known desert that has a 4-letter name. 7 down, be by. To abut is to be next to exist next to something. Sneak or creep. Cab, car. Cut off for 8 down. Not sure. 16, screens, space savers. Are they some kind of, I'm thinking like a pull-down menu where it is hidden until you need to use it, so it's saving space on your screen. Maybe a pop-up menu that fits with the spaces we have. Cut off. And I'm just not sure about 6 across. Is it sneak or creep? It could be something as simple as verb. Nope. 20 across, paragliders purchase. Don't know that. 9 across, certain dance party. No, 15 across, Certain dance party. What was 9 across? Certain dance party. 15 across is also certain dance party. I'm prone to misreading the clue that I have highlighted, so gave me some pause, but those are separate clues. They're the same clue for different answers. 18 across, what lemons are? So here, lemons are cars. You can refer to a car as a lemon if it's in bad condition. Or are they citrus or fruit or something like that? Or oval. Lemons are oval in shape. Kind of like that. 9 down, finish for Southern diners. Is this some kind of stereotypical Southern dessert, maybe? Or names of diners in the South typically end in this phrase. Nope, 10 down. Asphalt legends, for example. Legends capitalized, so that may have some significance. Asphalt legends. Nope. 11 down. What the detectives in the novel 3 Bags Full are. 3 bags full is a phrase, comes from the nursery rhyme, Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. I would guess maybe they're sheep. Is this some kind of children's story about sheep who solve crimes? Isn't that a movie that's coming out? 12 down, Assyrians, enemies. Medes, enemies. Not sure about that. I'm kind of doubting oval. 20 across, that's the paraglider's purchase. 24 across is belly aches. Be like complains or something like that. 21 down is go for a spin. Finish for Southern diners. Asphalt legends. I don't know what asphalt legends. I can't even think of like a simple reading of what that may be, let alone any misdirection. Assyrians, enemies. I'm trying to think of, biblical times, my reading of the Old Testament or ancient Near East history. What's a 4-letter word? Probably ends in S or maybe an I. And MEDES is the only thing that comes to mind, but I'm just not sure about it. Okay, let's move over to this section, 22 across, Pacific Rim's 5th Avenue. So like a main shopping street in East Asia? What is the shopping district in Tokyo? There's a name for it, like the Ginza or something like that. I'm not sure. 25 across, soft numbers. Nope. 25 down, heads out. No. 26 down, the perfect scam, podcaster. Don't know that. And 27 down, pan dowdy, cousin. That sounds like it might be a Southern dessert, doesn't it? I don't know what a pan dowdy is. 29 across, crossword. A word you might say when you are cross, when you're upset. No, 34 across is tight bunch. Crew seems to fit. If this were an easier puzzle, I might put in crew, knowing I could change it if it's wrong, but I'm afraid it's going to mess me up. 39 across, advances for a short time. Loans or lends. Lend someone some money for a short time. 25 down is heads out. 26 down, the perfect scam, podcaster. Just don't know what that is. I don't know what a pan dowdy is. 35 down is velvety milk drinks. Some kind of smoothie. Nope, not getting anything there. 5 down was brewer's heat source. 17 down, cat's paw. Can be a kind of knot. A mitten? Would a mitten be a cat's paw? Cats are often named mittens if their paws are a different color from the rest of their body. I don't know. 14 down, that's 2020's youthful zero reaction. I have no idea what that means. 23 down, abased oneself. Something like pleaded or groveled, maybe. 28 down is where Bell was raised. Alexander Graham Bell was Scottish. Scotland doesn't fit. Okay, that was kind of a guess anyway. 30 across, celebrious. Don't think I've ever seen that word before. Does it mean celebratory? Or is it something else? CELER as a prefix can refer to speed, as in accelerate. I think we would need an R for anything speedy. Okay, 36 across, woman of Canadian extraction. Extraction, is that a reference to mining? Is there a woman who's prominent in Canadian mining? I don't know. 41 across, band leader autograph with a pentagram. Pentagram, often seen as a satanic symbol, is like Ozzy Osbourne or one of those rock stars who kind of cultivated that Satan-worshipping image, maybe. Is it Ozzy? That would fit. 37 down, Encyclopedia Brown. Enduringly. I read the Encyclopedia Brown stories when I was a kid. That's one of those mysteries where it's, just a few pages long, and then you have to guess the answer. You flip to the back of the book and you get the answer to the mystery about who stole the milk or whatever. Aimed for kids, so crimes were usually pretty nonviolent. Enduringly, I don't know. 42 down, integral to the organization. No, 44 across is unplanned. Minor meetings, kind of like a drive-by meeting is what we used to call that when I was in the workforce. Now I'm retired and get to spend my time struggling with crossword puzzles. 24 across, belly aches. 31 across, crowned. Nope, 38 across, second profession. A profession can mean like a profession of faith, like a vow or an oath. But what is second doing there? Don't know. 32 down, blank, a primera vista. A primera vista means at first sight in Spanish. Fortunately, I speak a little Spanish, so love at first sight would be amor a primera vista. That's also helping me know that ajillo means garlic up here. I think it may be pollo al ajillo. Polo with garlic. Would one down be an app, a mobile utility? Could be an app. Yes, let's go ahead and put pollo in. Then 2 down, simple sort, a fool. Nobody seems to notice the fool on the hill. Sees the sun going down and the eyes in his head see the world spinning round. So I think Alpo fits for Prime Cuts dry brand. That sounds like a kind of dog food. I don't know that's correct. Fool would fit for simple sort. Ruffle is... A ruffle can be like a stir, or to ruffle someone's feathers is to what? I don't know. Bog-like. Slushy? Hamlet's dagger. Oh, I didn't look at this clue. 19 across. Hamlet's dagger. Did he refer to his dagger as something, or is there... Hamlet was Danish, so dirk is kind of a Scottish dagger. Is there a Danish dagger? I'm thinking of the Macbeth line. Is this a dagger I see before me, handled toward my hand? But I don't know a reference to a dagger in Hamlet, being as poorly educated as I am. Is this a brewer's heat source? Is it something to do with hops? Ruffle, could that be a fash or a bash? Unabashed means unruffled. So if you're ruffled, maybe you are abashed, or somebody abashed you, they ruffled you. Then simple sort. A boor is kind of an uneducated person like myself. I'm boorish at times. Hamlet's dagger. I feel like slushy could be bog-like, like the ground is mushy, slushy. Then hop. Could it be a hop oast or a hop kiln? Roskin. Kind of rings a bell. It's something I may have learned in a high school English class while studying Hamlet. Hop kiln I like as a brewer's heat source where you might heat up the hops in the brewing process. 22 across. Pacific Rims, 5th Avenue. I just think this is a shopping district somewhere, and I don't know what it is. 17 down, Cat's Paw. If it's mitten. Celebrious and woman of Canadian extraction. Nope. 14 down would be youthful, zero reaction. Is it some kind of generation something? Based oneself. That probably ends in a D. 49 across, historic African cattle herder. The Dinka people of East Africa were known, if I dimly remember, as using cattle as a source of wealth, of currency. I took an African history class in college. That's kind of where I'm getting that from. And I like an ED ending for abased oneself for 23 down. It's going to be a past tense verb, probably like abased oneself, unless it ends in some kind of preposition, like bowed down or something like that. 42 down, integral to the organization. Nope. So I was distracted by this amor to go back and check the other Spanish language clue, and that kind of got sidetracked up there. So let's finish this section. Crowned. Like a tooth, like a checkers piece. King me, crown me. Nope. Second profession. 23 across. Fine crack. A crack can be a witty remark. A bon mot is a witty remark. Good word in French borrowed into English to mean a witty remark. I've seen mot used that way in New York Times puzzles. 33 down. Sounds good. Second profession. Crowned. And 44 across. That's the unplanned minor meetings. Might end in S. And sounds good. Yes, I agree. Let's do that. Okay. Crowned could be something AL as an adjective. I'm not sure. A second profession, is it something to do with second in the sense of a measurement of time, or? Yeah, don't know that. This might be an E for ERS ending. Asphalt legends. I just don't know what that means. Okay, we looked at this corner down here in the bottom left. 47 across, neighborhood beside UCLA. So I think this is just straightforward. What is a neighborhood that is near the UCLA campus in Los Angeles? And I don't know the answer. 50 across, sound capital. Sound can be a body of water. Sound can mean safe and sound, in good condition. Or it can be to make a sound. Sound capital. Sound is a pound was the phrase they used to say. 55 across, well chosen. Nope. 59 across, many a Bogart film. He made a lot of noir films. I think that fits. 62 across. Okay, here we got some French. I speak a little French as well. Période de moustique intense. Periods of intense mosquito activity. So I think you would have a lot of mosquitoes in the summer. The French word for summer is été, summers. I think that's right. 47 down, stood for. No, not sure. 48 down. Whom Woolf praised with one of the few English novels written for grown-up people. Virginia Woolf here, probably. So she was praising, I think, another author who wrote what Woolf considered to be one of the few English novels written for grown-up people. Ending in OT. Not clicking. And again, these could be wrong. 27 down is Pandowdy Cousin. Some kind of brownie or blondie. Kind of like that. Pandowdy sounds like some kind of baked concoction, like a cobbler or something like that. It's kind of what I'm thinking, but I really don't know what it is. Maybe just because it has pan in it. Well chosen. This is an N. That could be fine. T.S. Eliot is an author who might have written a novel for grown-up people. Stood for and well chosen. Nope, that's not clicking. Sound capital. Neighborhood beside UCLA. 35 down, velvety milk drinks. Not really sure what that means. 40 down, diminish delicately. No, 45 down, unsurpassably, uninspiring. I don't know that. 51 down, Roman Empire province with city-states. Nope, 57 down, Mrs. Blank. A 1996 First Lady bestseller. First Lady often refers to Eve from the book of Genesis. Is Mrs. Eve a bestseller about the First Lady, or is it a 1996 bestseller written by the First Lady at the time? Who would be who in 1996? Laura Bush? Or maybe not. Mrs. Worshipper in a gateway to the Guru for 60 across. A gateway to the Guru. So I think Guru is from Hinduism, typically. A gateway to the Guru could be some kind of temple or something, a Hindu temple, but what would the worshipper be called? Or maybe it's Sikh. Looking for a four-letter word. I think Sikhism would also have a guru, perhaps. Let's try Sikh. 45 down is unsurpassably uninspiring. So that might end in EST. The unsurpassably tell us we're looking for a superlative here. 51 down. Roman Empire province. Oh, 57 down. Mrs. Just not familiar with that. 28 down, where Belle was raised. If it's not Alexander Graham Bell, Gertrude Bell is another famous Bell. Yeah, I don't know that. 37 down, Encyclopedia Brown. 42 down is integral to the organization. 52 across is a symbol for a sequel. Would you need to, a sequel to a movie, you would need to recast the original cast, or, cast them again in the second film for the sequel. I'm not sure about that. 56 across, unwritten endorsement. 63 across is LFB's putative wizard inspiration. I don't know who LFB is. Wizard is the Washington NBA team, Washington, D.C. NBA team. Is LFB a famous basketball player, or is it the author of some kind of Harry Potter like series about wizards. I think we're looking for another set of initials here with a T. There's T.S. Eliot again. Maybe that's wrong and that's wrong. Maybe Laura Bush, or whoever the first lady was in 1996, maybe she wrote a book about Mamie Eisenhower, what might be called Mrs. Ike. I haven't heard of this as the title of a book, but that would be the type of book that might be written by a serving first lady. What is this Roman Empire province that ends in IS, maybe? I don't know about T.S. Eliot, and if T.S. Eliot is here, it's probably not T.S. Eliot here. Is this something IRCH? No, 37 down. Encyclopedia Brown. So he was a young man. I think he was probably around 11 or 12, so a preteen, enduringly. And he just was really smart and could solve mysteries based on the clues. And if you read the scenario carefully, you might be able to solve the mystery too. Integral to the organization. 46 down, one losing deliberately. Okay, that's probably tanker. I'm thinking of the NBA again. Been watching some of the playoff games. A tanker is one who tanks, one who loses deliberately in order to get a better draft pick in the next season. Introduction to saving. This could be a prefix that can go before saving to make a different word, or a prefix that means saving. Well, 54 down, exams with an open option. Open book test. Am I understanding that correctly? I feel like maybe I'm missing it. 58 down, what the tennis US Open is played on. Are we talking about the surface? What are they, grass as opposed to clay, or what would be the, or is it played on like Eastern Standard Time or something like that? 64 cross, 2024 discovery on Mars, highest mountain. Can't even think of a word that would fit here. 61 across is swamp-like again. Fetid kind of means swamp-like. Change this to an I and a D here. Does that help with anything? That could give us Eastern Daylight Time for the time zone. I feel like I've seen this clue before in a Saturday Stumper, where the answer for something along these lines ended up being the time zone on which the event took place. So open, do you want it open or closed? We're going to do an oral exam or something like that. What would be discovered on Mars's highest mountain? A crest? No. Assemble for a sequel. And unwritten endorsement. Okay, well, we've got some things in the puzzle that I'm not really confident about. What would fit here? Sneak or creep? Cat? A, B, C, D. Oh, a sneak or creep is an unpleasant person, an undesirable person, a cad. Okay, that does make sense. To cut off is to disown, like your heirs. Cut them off from their inheritance. Okay. So that kind of gives me some confidence about pop-up menus. Cat's paw. I'm just going to try mitten and think about that for a second. Pacific Rim's 5th Avenue. youthful zero reaction. I'm not really sure what that means. Soft numbers for 28 across, or soft numbers. I've often seen that used. Number used as number, something that numbs, is some kind of anesthetic. Does it begin with vinyl? Soft numbers, vinyl. Probably ends in S. Let's put that in. Heads out. Just goes. Advances for a short time. Spots. Can you spot me $20? Yes, and then heads out, goes. Okay. Or if we want this to be a V for vinyl. No, 26 down. The Perfect Scam. Podcaster. Who would have a podcast called The Perfect Scam? Frank Abagnale comes to mind, but that doesn't fit. Who else would do it? Nope, 27 down. Pandowdy. Tight bunch. 29 across is crossword. Well, if Slushy and Hop Kiln are right, I don't think this G is correct. IHOP doesn't have a podcast, do they? Okay, I'm just not getting anything here. Soft numbers or soft numbers. Celebrious. I don't know that word. It looks like it's related to either celebrity or celebrate, which are related to each other. Does it mean needy? Can't think of a word where CELE has some kind of meaning related to poverty or necessity. If this were a Y, where Bell was raised. This would be a D, abased oneself. No, 36 across. Woman of Canadian extraction. Let's try Ozzy Osbourne here, just to see if that helps. New Zealand or something like that. And 43 down, or 42 down, integral to the organization. Try this corner again. Certain dance party. A ball. Would be a dance party. $15 across, certain dance party. So rave and ball are two kinds of dance party. I'm kind of thinking of brownie over here for a finish for Southern diners. Is it brownies? They're not really Southern. I'm sure they have them in the South, of course, but they're not known to be Southern in particular. I don't think so. Asphalt legends. Maybe 3 bags full has to do with llama wool rather than sheep wool. Let's take this out. These are all just guesses. Asphalt legends. Belly aches. Not getting anything here. What would a paraglider need to purchase, or what do you hold on to as a paraglider? A tow bar or something like that? A tow rope? Well, kind of like llama. Well, let's try. I'm just guessing at some of these other things here. Let's try meads for the Assyrians' enemies. Waz? Wah, quit your belly aching. The detectives, maybe they are sheep, or this could be a tow line. Instead of tow rope. Could they be swine? Some other farm animal that is solving a mystery about sheep or something. Prom is a certain dance party. The adjective for sheep is ovine. Sheep are ovine creatures. Okay, I'm liking that. Then I'm liking rave for the other dance party. Then I'm liking pralines, are stereotypical Southern. Candied, pecans, I think. What lemons are? They are acid. They are acidic. Citric acid. Asphalt lenses. Is that kind of a racing car? A racing bellyache. Whines, complains. Yes. Racing. Is it a racing game? Crowned could be regal as an adjective related to royalty. I'm going to try racing game as asphalt legend. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe drag racing or something. Second profession. So if I profess something and then you make a second profession to agree with me, you might say same. So that would be a second profession. Pralines, racing game, amor a primera vista. Yes, let's do that. And that all looks right. Okay, we got that corner done. Soft numbers or soft numbers. Go for a spin to whir like a fan. That showed up in the Sunday New York Times puzzle, I think. I'm solving this on Sunday night after I did the New York Times puzzle for Sunday. Vinyl something. Wow, okay, that's frustrating. But we got that corner done anyway. So now we need to use the bits we've got that feed into the rest of the puzzle. 44 across. Unplanned minor meetings. Some kind of encounters, maybe? Or an elevator. Integral to the organization. I'm not sure about Dinka. That could be wrong. Soft numbers are trimming, tuning, twining, thinning. How do you abase yourself? You kowtowed. You groveled. You begged, pleaded. Nope. Where bell was raised. Okay. Wow, we got the top third of the puzzle, top quarter of the puzzle, maybe. I don't know this Pacific Rim's Fifth Avenue. Is it a famous thoroughfare somewhere in East Asia? Or am I thinking out of it? Is it Fifth Avenue is a candy bar? Is there a famous candy bar sold in the Pacific Rim? There may be, but I don't know what it is, if there is. Zero reaction. Let's take out Ozzy. Let's take out Dinka, too. And then we'll take out that E there. Okay. Celebrious. Needy is just a word that fits here. Then where Bell was raised. Gertrude Bell. Alexander Graham Bell. Or Bell Telephone Company. Vinyl. Nope. Crossword. Tight bunch. Your crew is your tight bunch. Your friends or pals. Maybe it ends in an S. Velvety milk drinks. Velvety. What would make a drink out of velvety milk? Some kind of shake, a malt. Stood for meant. Période de mystique intense. I like été for that, but if we take out what else would it be? Intense mosquito periods. Yeah, I think it's étés. Well chosen. Apt? Nope. Sound capital. And I just don't know the neighborhood beside UCLA. Okay. "43 minutes in. Maybe a third of the puzzle done. Is it time to start thinking about a hint? A bash I like. Roskin I don't know. That's kind of my basis for... I'm basing that on hop kiln. Mitten I'm not confident about, or needy. Maybe I could check a word. Where would we get the most use from a hint? Unplanned minor meeting. I think the chance encounters doesn't fit. Or is it some kind of encounter? Tanker, kind of like that. Okay, let's try here. Let me get this letter. Here's one hint. So is it ethyl, some kind of, I'm thinking some kind of anesthetic. Ethyl, maybe it's not an ing ending. Heads out, or ends, maybe like the ends of a long object. Pan Dowdy, cousin. And what is this? Okay, that's not really helping. Let's get this letter to, I guess. Let's take out mitten. All right, I think we're going to have to reveal this word. It is soft numbers. Easy listening music are soft numbers on the radio. Okay, so let's count this as one single hint, revealing this word. Then heads out. The Perfect Scam. Podcast. Oh, AARP, the American Association of Retired Persons, does a lot of work warning seniors about scams. So yeah, that might make sense. Then crossword, maybe nag or tight bunch. And Pan Dowdy. I'm going to reveal Pan Dowdy because regardless of what it is, it's probably a word I don't know. So I'll need to get all the crossing letters to get it. So let's just go ahead and cheat this here. Shoe fly pie. I've heard of that. Yeah, that is a dessert. I probably would have put that as an answer for pralines. Okay, yeah. So made with molasses, so very, very sugary. It would attract a lot of flies if you were serving it outside a picnic. So is this ba or na or ga? Heads out, ends, egos, ebbs, like the tide heading out, receding. Okay, ebbs, I like that. Like the tide at its ebb, I'm at peace in the web of your arms. Okay, so I've really used two hints. I revealed easy listening. I revealed shoe fly pie, and it seems to be helping a little bit. So I got bros for tight bunch. Yeah, these are my bros. Ba for a crossword, I guess, like bah humbug, like Ebenezer Scrooge using that. Ebbs makes sense for heads out, like the tide ebbing, heading out to sea. Spots for advances for a short time. Okay, so I think these are all right. Cat's paw. I don't know that needy is right. Okay, let's focus here where we've got some inroads here. I've used two hints. Velvety milk drinks. Diminish delicately. Unplanned minor meetings. Are they flybys? We used to call that a drive-by when your boss would stop by your desk and interrupt what you were doing to get status on a project that he told you wasn't important, and you have to stop the project you're working on that he did say was important to tell him about the project that's not important. Velvety milk drinks. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Neighborhood beside UCLA. Here's a Y. Sound capital. Nope. Well chosen. I keep thinking apt. Well chosen. That's a good choice, a fine choice. Nope. If we put a T back in, we've got that shoe fly pie there. We know that's an E. So then stood for, you shone, you arose, you, many a Bogart film. I think noir is right for that. Uninspiring is what? The most uninspiring would be the blandest, the blahest. An unwritten endorsement. Okay, nothing is coming to mind here. Let's do a third reveal. What are the unplanned minor meetings? Fender benders. Okay, an unplanned minor meeting between two cars in the street. Was not thinking along those lines. Yeah, I'll allow it. Okay. So we ought to be able to finish the puzzle from this. To trail off, to diminish delicately. Driest. Like a dry talk or a dry lecture would be uninspiring. Would be the driest, the most uninspiring. Sound capital with paydays. When you get your capital, your money. It doesn't make much sense to me. I'm going to reveal this neighborhood too, because this is something that if you went to UCLA, you'd know right away. So it's something I could look up. Bel Air is a neighborhood beside UCLA. Okay. So, stood for, you bore it. I can't stand for this treatment. I stood for a lot of treatment. I have borne a lot of treatment, okay? I'm going to try Elliot. Let's spell driest with an I. Olympia, Washington, I think is on Puget Sound. Olympia is the state capital of Washington, maybe, so it is a capital that is on Puget Sound. Steamers. Oh, is that some kind of coffee drink, maybe with steamed milk that makes it velvety? Okay, I don't really know that. Well chosen, a fruit that is ripe would be well chosen. Okay. He has stood for it. He has borne many slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Okay. Well, what have I used? 4 hints so far? 4 complete word reveals. This E is right. 2020's youthful. 0 reaction. Is it a Gen Z stare? I have not heard that phrase before, but a 0 reaction would be like a blank stare. So I'm thinking stare kind of makes sense. And it's youthful, so you're crediting Gen Z with making a blank stare as a reaction. Let's put Roskin back in. Celebrious is natal. Does that have to do with birth, maybe? Woman of Canadian extraction. Celine Dion. Nope. Abased oneself. Okay, I was really sure it ended with an ED. So, Ginza is kind of what I was thinking of. Is it the Japanese shopping district? I don't know that that's right. Could sluggy mean bog-like? Maybe it's Hinza. That just doesn't seem. Pretty sure it began with a G. We can check a word. Let's check this word and see if it is correct. No, it is. It is Ginza. Okay. So then what is four down? Bog-like. Sluggy? Rogkin or... No. Odds bodkin. Bodkin is something. I guess that is a dagger. Odds bodkin is just a phrase that people quote from Shakespeare without... I certainly never knew what it meant. So sludgy for bog-like, bodkin, and boob for a simple sort. Yeah, don't be such a boob. There we go. All right. Well, all right. That corner makes sense now. What I had to check Ginza, and then there were four other words I revealed. A cat's paw is a mini something. I don't know what a cat's paw is. Bodkin, I'm pretty sure about now that I see that. Okay, so this is a letter that we were given, that G. There were other letters we were given. I don't know why they're not highlighted. Maybe because I checked it, yes. Celebrious. Abased oneself. Alexander Graham Bell. He was Scottish. Maybe he was from Edinburgh. Okay, Edinburgh. There we go. Noted. Yes, celebrious could be related to celebrity here. A noted person, a celebrity. Okay. Maybe a cat's paw is a minion? How does that make sense? Cat's paw minion. And woman of Canadian extraction. The name Nadia is hidden in the word Canadian. So if we extract N-A-D-A from Canadian, we would get Nadia. Okay, these are the types of clues that I always miss when doing cryptic crosswords. I'm not looking for them in the Saturday Stumper, although I know there have been instances of those. I've well seen reversals in the Saturday Stumper, like live the wrong way ended up being evil. Ate dirt. This is a two-word phrase, okay, for abased oneself, yes. Did Ringo, well, Ringo wasn't the band leader, Ringo Starr of the Beatles. Who's the band leader? Encyclopedia Brown age. Maybe he's always age 10. I thought he was around 10 or 11, right? Is this referring to... It's got to be Ringo Starr, right? Maybe it's referring to him as his band after the Beatles, perhaps. Integral to the organization. Tanker is wrong for one losing deliberately. You take a dive in boxing. No, that doesn't work either. I'm going to put in diver. I think Tutsi, maybe rather than Dinka, maybe Tutsi is the African ethnic group that I'm thinking of. The Tutsi and the Hutus. Yeah, okay. Integral to the organization. On and one losing deliberately. Maybe this is recast for the assemble for the sequel. I had that in before. If you are on scene, you're integral to the organization. Losing deliberately. A dieter would be deliberately losing weight. Assemble for a sequel. An unwritten endorsement. We're almost done. We've used 4 words in 1 check. Introduction to saving. Auto-saving, checking, nope. Exams with an open option. I'll take out that. Fetid was an early guess. It is not correct. I don't know what this is. Unwritten endorsement. Maybe like you're e-signing something? Okay, and I didn't want to have Elliot and TSE in the puzzle. Maybe Asia. Asia was a Roman province, what is now Turkey. Maybe, and they would have city-states in Turkey, I guess, going back to Greek times as well. TAE and LFB. I just don't know what those are, but Driest Asia and Ike kind of makes, and then an e-signature would be endorsement on a check or other document, but it's unwritten, it's digital. Okay. On integral to the organization. On swamp-like. Kind of like you are on staff. You're not a temporary worker or a contractor. You're part of the staff. Okay. Assemble for a sequel. Let's put fetid back in for the swamp-like thing. Introduction to saving. Is it auto? Auto saving. Yeah, auto save like a Word document. You would auto save. Then to re-team a group of people for a sequel, maybe. Exams with it. You can have an open MRI or a closed MRI, and maybe frost was discovered on Mars's highest mountain. So will S finish the puzzle? Let's hope so. We did it. We solved the puzzle. Well, not really, because we revealed 4 words. I checked Ginza because I really wanted it to be a G, but I couldn't figure out how a G would fit with 4 down. So I did check that to see if it was a G or not. So that counts as 1 hint. Then I revealed easy listening, fender benders, Bel Air as the neighborhood beside UCLA, and Shoofly Pie. So I guess just based on that, this southwest corner was the one that gave me the most trouble, or the one that once I got some letters in here, I was able to complete the rest. So that was a Saturday Stumper. Not a strong showing for me. I've done better on previous Saturday Stumpers. I've done worse too, if I'm honest. So yeah, odds bodkin. I should have gotten that before. Slushy. I never liked slushy as bog-like, but I didn't think of sludgy. And I was pretty sure about boor. A boorish person is also a boob. Yeah, so. And I don't understand minion for cat's paw. A minion is like a henchman, like somebody who follows somebody. I've never heard, I don't know that cat's paw means that. Maybe, I don't know what it means. Ginza, I think that's the first thing I thought of. Ginza came to mind as the shopping district in Tokyo. But then I just couldn't make anything else fit with it. And I thought this was going to be a single word for abased oneself, ate dirt. So what else was very, very difficult here? Bel Air, I just don't know that. I was thinking of sound as a body of water. Puget Sound was one of the things I was kind of thinking in the back of my mind, but I didn't think of Olympia. Even after I got that Y, I didn't understand born for stood for. I mean, I understand it now, but it didn't click as I was thinking of possible meanings for that word. So I had a lot of things early in the puzzle that turned out to be correct, and then I kept changing them. I had fetid in here for a long time. I had rave pretty early on, but then I had ball above it. Had tow rope instead of tow line for a while. I didn't think of easy listening. I really thought it was going to be a number, some kind of anesthetic, but it turned out not to be the case. Fender benders, I wasn't thinking along those lines. Never occurred to me that we'd be talking about a meeting other than in a workplace context. So there we go. And I don't know what TAE or LFB mean. They're obviously initials for somebody. Wizard inspiration. I don't know, but it's right. Mrs. Ike, is it just a guess based on a book that might be written by a first lady? All right, so difficult puzzle, but I always like the Saturday Stumper. I feel like the Saturday Stumper, I don't want to say that I find the Saturday and Sunday New York Times puzzles easy, but they're no longer puzzles that I would take, that I would have to walk away from and then come back to finish. Usually, 99% of the time, as they were when I started doing, when I was in college and did the Sunday New York Times. It took me a long time to do one, several days. I would do it over a course of several days. The Saturday Stumper is kind of at that level for me now. And this is a puzzle where if I weren't solving online, I probably would step away from this puzzle, marinate on some of the clues, come back to it, and I would probably do a lot better, not have to use hints. But I'm recording these videos kind of as a scrapbook to myself of my progress in getting better at solving the Saturday Stumper. If you're watching, I hope that you found that useful in some way, if for no other reason than just to kind of laugh at me as I struggle through this puzzle. But I will rewatch this, and hopefully someday I'll be able to do a Saturday Stumper fairly quickly with no hints. All right, thanks for joining me. Please come back for more puzzles and games, and I'll see you next time.